We open up the story with a demon giving some life advice to the main man, telling him to look out for himself and prioritize his needs over the world. Fast forward, we see a hooded figure walking into a castle. While recalling some events from before, he knocks on a giant door of a room where the demon king generals and queen gather. The man is the world's strongest hero, Leo Demonheart, who defeated the demon queen Echidna and her generals, the Elite Four. He now stands in front of his old enemies to offer his services and help rebuild the demon queen's army. Although he states his stats and confidently shoots a shot, Leo gets violently rejected by Echidna over and over and over. You see, the reason behind such violent behavior is because 1 year ago, when the demon army attacked, Leo single-handedly stopped the invasion after departing from his useless party. His feats earned the respect of one of the Elite Four, Dragon General Edvard, who was Leo's first boss battle. In terms of raw stats, he was the strongest out of the 4 gens, and Leo managed to win against him thanks to his knowledge in magic. The second one he fought was Shadowless General Miranez, who was known to be the fastest fighter in all the land. Leo was able to beat him using an AoE spell that blew everything around him. Hence, he didn't need to match Miranez's unrivaled speed. The third match was against Lily, the Ruthless Fang, the Beast General. Leo first met her under a tree in a classic middle school setting, but unlike the classic, the kid had amnesia after she remembered who she is. Lily went into the attack but was knocked out by Leo pretty easily. And ever since she started to consider him her future husband due to her species' traditions, but the main man is not interested in little girls, hence their relationship is that of a big brother and small sister. Finally, the last foe he fought was Sorcerer General Shutina, who possesses great pools of mana and has mastered all types of spells. So the hero decided to play it safe and cast a spell that nullifies magic, turning their magical standoff into a physical one, which the Sorcerer General extremely lacks in. After some mild teasing and flexing of his power, Leo reveals that after defeating Echidna by his lonesome, which was kinda tricky since she was both tough physically and magically, a rumor spread among humans that he was planning to become the next demon king, so they sent assassins to end him, but the man who defeated the demon queen army couldn't bother with them. That said, the king, forced by his terrified citizens, reluctantly exiled Leo. Disillusioned with humans, Leo lived aimlessly for a while until he heard Echidna was trying to recruit soldiers to her defeated army and decided to join her instead. Hearing this, the four decide to hire Leo temporarily for a month without Echidna's knowledge. If he produces good results, they will try to convince Echidna to officially hire him, and in doing so, Leo hopes to be able to speak to Echidna and learn why amid the war did she prevent her soldiers from killing humans unnecessarily and potentially causing her defeat. The next morning, Leo heads to see his new supervisor, but she is still asleep. Leo changes his voice to the demon queens and spooks Shutina. She wakes up and starts reporting about the situation. After Leo drops the voice and the busty chick wakes up 100%, he catches an ice spell that looked very strong from the queen's point of view. As the hero cleans the mess, he questions why she's so worked up, as if he didn't enter her room without permission like a creep. That said, Leo soon realizes his new boss is stressed due to the army leaders returning to the demon world to recover from injuries given to them by Leo during the war, leaving only Shutina, who knows how to run an army without any help, hence why she's overworked, stressed, and exhausted. Leo decides to take over replenishing the mana reactor that powers the castle's magic items, a task that usually only Shutina could perform due to the wavelength of her magic. And that is where the main man comes in. After telling her he will only need 2 hours to replenish the mana, Loverboy teasingly demands a kiss if he performs well. Leo then uses a spell to hide his appearance so no one can identify him and heads out. Along the way, he sees the young servant woman Dianette. Back in the general's meetings, Echidna tells her underlings to look after the busty chicks since she can tell the MILF is overworking herself. And if she heads to talk to her, she will only make her more stressed. Back in the office, Leo arrives tired, so he decides to take a breather while annoying Shutina as she works. The small break turns into an unusually long break. She tries to push him back to work but fails, so she threatens to fire him literally and figuratively. At that moment, someone knocks on the door, stopping the succubus in her track. It's Dianette reporting back on her success in replenishing the reactors. Leo explains he crafted a talisman tuned to Shutina's magic wavelength, allowing anyone with mana to replenish the reactors and remove the burden from Shutina. It being a devoted worker and somewhat perfectionist, she still can't fully relax and pass the job to her underlings. Until Leo points out to her that Dianette and the other servants are all worried about her and want to help. Touched, Shutina tears up and agrees to ask for help moving on whenever she feels overwhelmed, making the girl skip from joy. After Shutina admits that Leo solved one of her problems, the main man hands her a list he made while watching Shutina and her cleavage work. His words, not ours. He rearranged her priorities and circled what she can pass down to her underlings. Seeing our boy overperform, the hottie apologizes for misjudging him back during the interview. Leo brushes it off as something natural any employer would do and goes to resume his work, but first, Loverboy tries to claim his promised kiss, only to be punished by the embarrassed Shutina. Later at night, she summons him again. Leo's new task is to ensure the next shipment of food and equipment arrives safely, but the real task in hand is to ensure that Lily doesn't F up, since her mission plan, which was drawn by the way, simply instructs everyone to have fun together. Hence, the next day we see our boy chilling on an island located in the Largo Sea, where the dragon folk resides. They provide the demon army with food and other resources. Leo narrates, about 3,000 years ago, a demon king led an attack on the human realm, and after his defeat, many demons decided to live in peace and coexist with the humans. Likewise, the dragon folk tried it, but failed to find the same peace. Hence, they went to live remotely in the islands. Now on the island, we see Lily is indeed too childish, as she only cares about racing her army to the next spot while destroying everything in her path. Leo sees nothing is organized properly, and due to the troops not being assigned their proper tasks, a single supply mission takes over a week. Also, to make matters worse, Leo's orders are ignored, since anything he needs to pass on must be confirmed by the boss first. Contemplating his situation back in his hut, Leo gets visited by the little general. She gets worried about him looking down, so she rushes out to find something to relieve him. At that moment, realizes that Lily wants to do well and is held back by her immaturity. Hence, when she comes back, Leo fakes a snake bite and sends Lily into the mountains for healing herbs. By setting up problems that require her to think logically and use her workers effectively, he hopes to force a more mature way of thinking on her. Unfortunately, she transforms into her guardian form Fenrir, so when Lily encounters the first trial, a big rock that couldn't be broken by brute strength, she didn't need to look for some subordinates with magical powers to help her, as she was able to bypass the problems with stubborn strength. Likewise, the next trial demands underlings with a special set of skills to find a unique slime able to multiply infinitely and then crush it. But as expected, Lily just went ahead and speed ran that sea of slime by her strength alone. Seeing the hands-off approach has failed miserably, Leo in disguise meets the Beast General at the last obstacle, a cliff she can't jump over, and attempts to give her logistical hints. Although it seems she got the hint and went to seek help from subordinates that can fly, she later appeared swimming in the river saying, "I ask everyone for help, and you know what they said. I can just swim across the bottom and climb back up," which she did, and thanked the mustache man for his advice. After his plan proved to be a failure, Leo woke up the next day to find Lily next to him with the herbs, as well as a new plan to organize the troop and tasks more properly, surprising the main man, who figured all that the young general needed is just to be bluntly told the right way to do things. Back in the castle, Shutina is pleased with Lily's progress. Likewise, Echidna was impressed by the results of the new employee, Black Knight Onyx, Leo's cover identity, so she put on a request demanding a meeting with Black Knight Onyx immediately. Hearing this, how can one sleep safe and sound without getting nightmares knowing they will meet the big boss the next day? Leo remembers a distant time when all he did was just kill demons while being looked on like a monster. That said, when he meets Echidna, she welcomes him with joy and invites him to a fancy demonic dinner to reward his work. Forced to remove his helmet, he alters his face with magic last second, turning his handsome macho man face into a cute femboy. Wanting to get out of this unwanted situation, Leo pulls up the oldest business party trick in the book: keep the boss glass full. That said, the queen proved to be a very challenging opponent, as she can handle her liquor like no one's business. Meanwhile, Shutina is having a cup of calming jasmine tea, hoping Leo will be fine. Speaking about the retired demon slayer, the main man keeps maneuvering his way through questions and using social tricks he learned along the way. He warms up to the queen and builds the courage to ask why she rejected hero Leo from her army, and is met with a furious response that Leo unwittingly prevented her from capturing the Philosopher's Stone from Renail's city. Leo had not known Echidna wanted the stone, as he knows its powers are greatly exaggerated through rumor. Echidna reveals the demon world is a polluted wasteland where everyone fights over resources, so she wants the stone to make the land fertile so the fighting can stop. Thus, she was forced to battle humanity, as she knows they would never just hand over a holy relic. She also reveals while she hates Leo for stopping her, she respects him for doing his job to protect humanity. Leo realizes Echidna is a kind person forced to commit evil acts for a good reason, and finds he wants to help her. Echidna asks why he, a human, joined her army, and he almost tells her the truth about being Leo, but they are interrupted by Shutina and Lily, informing them that Mernez has left to go on a journey, and Edward plans to take his own life after failing to train them. Echidna goes to talk to Edward while Leo tracks down Mernez. The shadowless general jumps in, not realizing it was Leo in the dark. After finding him, Leo starts asking him why did he leave, and while doing so he put a magical chain around the fast boy's leg just in case he decides to run away before finishing the talk. Marinez admits he is scared that in 3 days he will have to start interviewing applicants for positions in the army, but he is terrible at conversations. Therefore, he wanted to leave for a nearby village and learn how to become a social person. But since Lee was here now, he asks the ex-hero to teach him how to talk to others. With Marinez returned to the castle, Echidna is not surprised he was under so much stress, given that Marinez was a supporter of eliminating humans and now has to work with them. Edward, on the other hand, truly had tried to kill himself, but his impenetrable dragon skin kept saving him, so he is now being watched at all times by his daughter Julieta. The next day, Leo forces Marinez to masquerade as a waitress in the soldiers' food hall, and if we are being honest here, the maid outfit does make his deadly assassin blue eye pop off. Jokes aside, this is a drill to force the extremely introverted cute assassin to talk to all kinds of people. That said, Marinez still doesn't see the point of it, so Leo reveals he too was useless at talking to people while he was learning to be the hero, but he learned through practice and experience. Marinez practices on a group of ill-behaved werewolf mercenaries. He tries to listen to them and see stuff from their perspective till they turn lecherous, then listening be demanded. The only thing these fellas can communicate with is fists. The cold waitress assassin is forced to discipline them, almost revealing his identity. Even so, Leo is pleased that Marinez has learned the basics of conversation. All that is left is a practice run. During the practice interview, Marinez asks Leo why he really joined their army, when his desire to see humanity destroyed is a blatant lie, since if he truly wanted he could do it alone without any help. This catches the main man by surprise and he tries to dodge the question, but when he sees how Marinez is serious, Leo drops the goofy attitude and listens to Marinez's backstory. The Shadowless general explains he is half demon, half human, and was sold into childhood slavery, that when he found out he was a good enough assassin to survive. When Echidna entered the human realm, he volunteered to join the army, but was disappointed she spared more humans than she killed. Marinez briefly considered assassinating Echidna to lead the army himself, but resigned himself to being a general until he was defeated by Leo, who told him to experience the world, not as an assassin, but for fun. Leo decides to reveal his biggest secret without even realizing he was doing it. Suddenly, he opened his heart and revealed he is much older than anyone realizes, over 3,000 years, and was born in modern Tokyo where magic didn't exist yet. Demons invaded the human world. They were looking for a new home, and although some wanted to live peacefully, others found the only way to do so is through fighting, and since humans were very weak at the time, scientists created 12 living weapons called demon hearts, including Leo. From the moment he was born, Leo was a hero. He knew no other way. It was his only purpose. The other demon hearts all died in battle, while Leo was made more durable and still appears as a young man even after the modern world was left behind and society became what it is today. Leo continues to explain that he was tired of fighting and of being unable to die. So when humanity rejected him, he was filled with joy as he could finally have fun, and since joining the demon army seemed like the most exciting thing to do, that's what he did. Leo continued to talk about the old time and how he stopped the Demon King before the Queen, her father, but Marinez, overwhelmed, cut him off. Leo finished the heart-to-heart talk with genuine words, how he grew fond of Echidna as well as the generals and wants to help them. In the following days, the miners found some sort of a mech battle Gundams, but before we get to the cool stuff, let us first get the boring out of the way. Leo learns from Julieta that Edward can't understand why his soldiers keep losing. Leo deduces that because Edward is a naturally gifted warrior, he can't understand others are not as gifted, so he assumes he just didn't train them hard enough. Seeing the redhead hottie worried about her father, Leo promises Julieta that he will help her dad to see the way. Meanwhile, Marinez informs Shutina and Lily about Leo's past, but they decide to continue trusting him, as said if they see him acting Saz, they will tell their queen about him. After that, we see Leo reading the report from Lily about the discovery the miners came across, and he gets an idea, but before he acts on it, the main man gets summoned to see the queen, who tells him that Lord Edward has quit his position as a general and decided to rejoin as a common foot soldier to help him train with his underlings while his daughter oversees his old position. Hearing this, Leo proposes an idea to the queen that might help to fix the situation. Back with the Dragon Lord, as he was telling his soldiers about the new plans, a relic from the age of technology is discovered. It's a machine golem called Phantom Nines, and it is as strong as high-ranked demons. He sets the Phantom to attack Edward, realizing too late that its safety restrictions have malfunctioned, forcing him to step in and tell Edward how to defeat it. Sensing its defeat, the Phantom Nine remotely activates the other Phantom Nines to provide assistance. Regardless, they are destroyed by Echidna, who was waiting in case anything went wrong on the spot. Having required Leo's assistance against an enemy he didn't understand, Edward realizes that he can't judge his soldiers against his standards and had been training them all wrong. So he apologizes to them and is forgiven. Echidna has too much fun destroying the phantoms, with Marinez suspecting it is her form of stress relief. As Black Knight Onyx, Leo is to be promoted by Echidna. He plans to reveal his identity to Echidna with Shutina's help after he assured her he has no intentions to betray them. Leo reads a book about Abrod, a famous demon known as the Joiner of Hands, which is also one of Echidna's favorite books. Leo was amused as he knew Abrod in Tokyo, and he didn't look like the person on the book cover. Back in modern-day Japan, Abrod was held at slice and dice point by the main man. He was a talkative imp demon who came to Earth for a better life, but misunderstandings between humans and demons due to opening the portal in the middle of the city started the war. When Leo heard Abrod was preaching coexistence, trying to stop the fighting, he sought him out. While Leo was taking the demon to the next point, Abrod made it clear that he didn't want to stay in the human world after seeing the chaos that happened. However, when he and others tried to leave, the portal closed if feat only could be done by higher-tier demons or the king himself. The little imp figures that it was the higher-ups' way to get rid of them while gathering info on the human world to prepare for a wider invasion, which would be pretty easy considering how weak the humans are. Seeing the little imp to be harmless and very informative, Leo decided to spare him. Abrod senses something off about the man he is talking to, so he asked our boy his name to fill the awkward silence, making the hero smile for the first time. The stoic man answers, "I'm Anti-Devil Self-Development Bioweapon, Demon Heart Series number 05 Leo." He was produced along with 11 other unstoppable bioweapons. They were able to imitate and eradicate the invaders using their own powers against them, and they also have unyielding loyalty. As such, they would have no purpose once the war ended. Hearing this, Abrod couldn't but feel sad for Leo. You see, due to his immortality, he would live unneeded and completely alone till the next war that endangers humanity again. Leo had never considered this before. Amused by Abrod's genuine concern, Leo continued to hear him out till the containment squadron arrived and took the imp away. As he was being dragged away, Abrod swore to continue preaching coexistence until the war ended and made Leo promise to find a way to enjoy living once he no longer had to fight. Leo never saw him again, but always remembered what Abrod told him, and now humans finally no longer want him. He has found a way to enjoy living. And that is along the ranks of the four generals. Sadly though, as he was about to get promoted, the portal to the demon world begins to collapse. Since the queen doesn't know when the next portal would open, the away team faces a dilemma to stay or not to stay. After discussing her options with the generals, Echidna concludes the only way to move forward is to return to the demon world immediately, since the second option is to attack the human capital with their current forces to take the stone, which is a guaranteed failure because even when they fought with all their might, the hero Leo was able to defeat them easily. And that's when the lowly was about to spill the beans but got shut by the MILF. The main man questions the queen's goals again to ensure she still wants what's best for her people without resulting in bloodshed. Once he hears a satisfying, genuine answer, Leo takes off the helm and reveals the Philosopher's Stone isn't an all-powerful magic item that grants any wish, but is a modern engine that uses a black hole to produce unlimited energy and cannot be used to make the demon world fertile again. He also reveals there are two on Earth, so to avoid war, Echidna needs only locate the second one. That said, the highlight of this scene was Leo standing behind her going on and on rambling till the queen turns, but she never turns around till he tells her to cut the crap and look at him. Upon seeing his face, Echidna gets stun locked and her brain stops braining, unable to believe her reliable, loyal Lord Onyx is the hero himself. After eventually calming down, the four generals explain everything and back their boy up to stay in the demon army, leaving the queen with no other option. And thus here we are as Leo leads them to the second stone in the mountains. He explains that the engine requires a user guide. Echidna plans to make peace with humanity so they can search for a guide together and activate both engines, one for humanity and one for the demon world. Echidna and Leo argue constantly, which ends in a snowball fight to the general's relief. Later, she asks how our boy knows so much about the mechanical era, to which he tells her, "I was born at that time 3,000 years ago," making him the ultimate weapon, worth 100,000 demons. He then reveals to Echidna privately that due to his inbuilt purpose to protect humanity, he might go insane and cause war after war just so he can save humanity over and over again. Leo suddenly reveals the engines are the power sources of the demon hearts. He thus challenges Echidna and the four generals to prove their resolve. They must defeat him in battle, remove his heart, and use it to make peace with humanity and rejuvenate the demon world. If they fail, the demon world will remain a wasteland, and he will personally destroy humanity. Echidna remembers a moment from her childhood. A lady told her not to cross swords with the hero if she faced him one day, and that day finally came. Since everyone is standing dumbfounded, Leo makes the first move and attacks Echidna, while claiming that since war gives his existence meaning, he will save humanity even if he is the threat they need saving from. Edward swoops in last second to protect the queen, but he proves to be no match to Demon Heart Leo and is kicked away without any serious injury, but he then catches some when protecting Shutina. Everyone questions Leo's actions and tries to reason with him, but the main man is so tired of protecting humanity and wants to die at this point that he can't due to his immortality. Thus he concludes that eventually he will destroy everything, so there's nothing for him to protect. Lily tries to reason with him, but he attacks her despite her being unarmed. Realizing he truly means to kill them, they begin fighting to kill him too. The queen charges head forward, backed by the sorcerer's firepower, which doesn't do shit to him. Edward states his respect to Leo for his power, and for helping him become a better leader before unleashing his dragon blood and juicing up, yet with all the steroids, Ed still fell short and got defeated via magic. Echidna, after attacking him again with her strongest spell, realizes with his ability of hyper-reactive skill improvement, he can copy and improve any style of attack and defense, so after thousands of years of fighting, he is impervious to all damage. That said, quick feet Marinez manages to cut, improving once again. Even gods can die in fictional stories. Their fight turns into some shit coming right from Naruto. Marinez accuses him of lying about wanting to either die or destroy the world, as it contradicts his attempts to help achieve peace before getting frozen up. Lily unwillingly fights him in her Fenrir form but is defeated pretty easily. Believing she knows Leo's true motivations, Echidna decides to use an ultimate spell she inherited from her father, specifically designed to defeat a hero by disabling all their abilities for a single moment. Meanwhile, Mommy Shutina distracts Leo with magic and some talk no jutsu, long enough for the queen to cast the spell passed down by demon kings for generations, titled Hero Binding. Anti-Leo, the queen shoots. Right before the spell hits, it appears that the menace will dodge, but Leo thanks Echidna and tanks at Mother Flicker. Leo sees his entire life flash before his eyes, from the time of his creation through endless series of wars followed by times of peace. As thousands of years pass, he realized he hated the idea of peace and wanted the world to be continuously in danger. One day, after peace stretched for a long time, the intrusive thoughts started creeping in. His shadow needed destruction for him to have a purpose and belong. Thus, as the errors in his psyche kept increasing due to developing a sense of self by growing an ego and a personality, his thought-masking programs stopped and malfunctioned, leading him to the idea that he could be the one to threaten humanity, and so he began creating a new Demon Heart series that would destroy the world rather than protect it. Luckily, when a soldier informed the hero about the demon world invasion, Leo snapped back to reality, stopped the intrusive thoughts from taking the wheel, and went back to destroy his unfinished creations as he realized he had gone insane. To protect humanity, he had to die, but he also had to leave his Philosopher's Stone heart to someone worthy of it. That was when he first met Echidna and realized she was the successor he needed. So he first defeated her, then joined her army to learn more about her, and now has chosen her to assist him with killing himself. Back to the present, the beam hits Leo, and for the first time he feels pain in his life and danger. Likewise, Echidna feels pain from the powerful spell. She sees the relief as well as sadness in our boy's eyes and realizes he wanted someone to save him all along. Deciding to give him a death worthy of a hero, Echidna keeps him powerless, allowing the four generals to attack him. Respectfully, of course. As Leo lies dying, he disables his internal security, giving them 300 seconds to remove his Philosopher's Stone. Echidna asks if he has any regrets, but he merely apologizes for causing trouble. Lily starts crying and tries to stop the queen, but gets held back. Echidna almost removes the stone, only to suddenly change her mind and step on that bad boy, scolding him before announcing Leo has passed his probation and is hired as her ambassador to the human world in charge of peace between demons and humans. When he tells her she's running out of time, Echidna hits him with a "don't care," plus there is dirt on your face, plus your chest is open, plus L, plus ratio, like a true queen. We might paraphrase a bit. Anyways, Leo begs to die, so Shutina demands to know his real motive. He admits by even contemplating destroying humanity, he has dangerously evolved beyond the orders his creators programmed him with. By that logic, Shutina tells him to evolve the ability to ignore the programming. Doubtful, Leo attempts to do so and is successful in deleting the order to protect humanity that has driven him mad for 3,000 years. As time passes, Leo seals the stone inside him forever and happily agrees to Echidna's request. Back in the castle, after what seems a wild night, Echidna asks if her new gen regrets losing what might have been his one chance to die. He denies it as he is happy to be helping Echidna. They are suddenly interrupted by Julieta, who at first thinks they are having a romantic moment, which Echidna violently yet embarrassingly denies. Julieta reveals while they were gone, a mountain of work piled up and the commanders start coming one by one seeking guidance from their generals. And just like that, Liu starts a new chapter in his life after being able to quit heroing. The end.